Well, hello, how's everybody doing? Welcome to my webinar. I'm David Allison. I'm a dentist and I practice in Georgia. If you'll stay with me for the next 15 to 20 minutes, you're going to learn how you can substantially supplement or even replace your dental practice's income with no work on your part. I know that sounds too good to be true, but it's working for me and I know it can for you too. Since you're watching this video, your free book, An Exit Strategy for Dentists, should be on its way to you now. This book outlines my journey in learning and profiting wildly from internet marketing by learning from and working with one of the most successful marketers on the planet, Greg Davis. I wish we had more time together here, but we have a lot to go over, so let's get going. Based on my 30 plus years of practice in dentistry, I've learned that we all want to make enough money to reduce stress and worry in our lives and to be able to retire comfortably. Stress comes from several sources, but my major source of stress was the need for more money. Some of you may be able to identify with that. An interesting thing that I've learned is that by solving the need for money problem, just about all other stress disappeared in my life. I'm going to tell you about a way you can start reducing stress in all areas of your life by working less, by supplementing your income. More dentists than ever before are leaving their practices and getting into other business opportunities. Most other businesses require huge startup costs. I'm going to tell you about one of the ways I'm involved in internet marketing that requires no effort on my part. There is a startup cost, but not nearly what most businesses require. And the cash generated provides a substantial hands-free monthly income. This monthly income can be scaled up to whatever level you want to. And I've always had a belief that my practice will be enough to provide this for me, but then life got in the way. Before we finish today, you're going to learn several things. First, you'll learn how you can start a new business to earn an income to supplement or possibly even replace your practice's income. Then you'll learn how to get others to build this business for you. And finally, you'll learn how you can grow your new business to whatever level you want to. One of the questions I ask my colleagues and whether starting a new business is right for them is, what did you first do to earn money? Because I know as a kid there were always things I wanted and didn't have enough money to have them all. Well, to tell you a quick story, my first way of making money, and I didn't know anything about profits and losses. I just thought it was a game. Make money, spend it, make more, spend it, and over. So I wrote some flyers and put them in neighbors' mailboxes. All the flyers said were, call David Allison for summer grass cutting, 44354. I don't know if you remember those days, but we didn't have to dial the area code or even the first two digits of the phone number in the small town where I grew up. It was sort of a Mayberry kind of a place. Anyway, I made a whopping $2 per lawn that I cut. And I was thinking immediately about what I was going to do to spend the money on. I didn't know anything about investing, only about spending. Then one day my dad explained to me that I could save the money and put it back into buying more gas and a self-propelled mower to work faster and make more money. That day he taught me a valuable lesson, to invest in myself. But I was also open to listening that day, just as I think you are today. We don't always listen to those right in front of us, and I was lucky enough to be ready to listen that day. And my dad had a lot of authority at that time, and he advised me not to waste all that money on junk because there would be nothing to show for all my hard work. He said the secret to succeeding is investing in yourself. And he taught me at an early age that it takes investing in myself to succeed. But I had to be at a point that I was open to listening and learning. Some of you may be at this point right now that I was in my father then, that you are open to listening and learning new ideas. I've had all kinds of successes and failures working in my online businesses, and I've realized that the biggest reason people get into any business themselves, and you've probably thought about some of these yourselves, these are three very simple things. The first, of course, is to make more money. The second reason is to decrease your stress level immediately by having more disposable income and financial freedom. And the third, and you may not have thought of this one, the third reason, which has happened to me, I actually was able to become closer to my family as a result of investing in a successful sideline business and making more money. As crazy as it sounds, becoming successful at something that no one believed in or even understood made me more self-confident, which gave me an improved view of myself. This in turn resulted in closer relationships with my family and friends and even with my staff and patients. This third reason is what I talked about before. Becoming more comfortable financially took most of the stress out of my day-to-day life, which improved my relationships. Now this is important. There are several reasons why dentists fail in trying to start new businesses. We all have the subconscious tendency to maintain the same financial status at all costs. We have a tendency to resist change since change takes us out of our comfort zones. The first reason for failure is that most people don't know how to start a business or where to even start. We have that solved for you. Greg Davis, my partner, and I have a turnkey program for you where we do 95% of the work. All you do is say, yes, I want to be a part of that. The second reason for failure in starting a new business is that people usually know what it is they need to do, but it's just too big of a challenge getting themselves to do it. We realize that the reason they don't want to do it is a lack of time and a lack of a system to follow. It takes too much time to start a new business. So Greg and I have developed a system here called an exit strategy for dentists that allows you to start a new sideline business without the investment of hardly any of your time. I thought I had a system when I was cutting grass for $2. Here's my system. Fill up the mower with gas and oil, cut as fast as possible, run to the next yard, cut and run and repeat. But the benefit of working with the internet these days is that it allows the use of very simple systems, as simple as asking someone to watch something or to read an email. This can be as simple as, can you watch this or can you read this? After they watch or read, if they like what you have to show them, they can make a decision. And it's all done without you having to talk to anyone. And finally, another of the most common reasons for failure in starting a new business is when starting a new business opportunity, it's common to find the wrong mentors, coaches, or partners. The reason lots of people never get started is that they feel like they're all alone. That will not be an issue here because we're going to be working together if you are accepted into our program. You'll have the chance to work directly with Greg and me, and we'll hold you accountable and get you to take action, even though very little action will be required from you, only making the decision to develop the business that others will be jealous of. But we really need to talk about what made the difference that day when my dad told me you have to invest in yourself. That day revolutionized my life, and today is your opportunity to allow it to revolution yours as well. All because my dad taught me that one thing, invest in myself. And that's really the secret to making money in business. You've got to invest in yourself. In college, when I decided to follow my father's footsteps into dentistry, I vowed that I would not struggle like he did. He had a successful practice, but when he retired, he and my mother had to move into an apartment for the rest of their lives. He had invested poorly and trusted the wrong people with his retirement plan. As I saw my father swallow his pride, I vowed that when I got to the retirement age, I was going to have plenty of money and not have the same outcome as he did. But I became my father. Life again got in my way. Most of my investments were in real estate and had promised huge returns, but they met head on with the real estate bubble, which left them essentially worthless. My retirement plan had also tanked, which most of you maybe can identify with that. Also, I went through a divorce, an accountant screw up with the IRS, and after that I was actually in worse shape than my father, who I had the utmost respect for and loved dearly. And on top of all that, the slowing economy had taken a toll on my practice as well, with my production decreasing nearly 20%. When paying the bills required 100% of my income, that 20% reduction didn't have anywhere to draw from. The math just didn't work out. I still had 100% of the bills to be paid from 80% of the income. I don't know if any of you have similar problems, but they're not uncommon. So I decided to reverse that path. This was about 5 years ago. I went to several internet marketing seminars, starting with one in Atlanta. The presenters showed photos of huge houses on the beach, Lamborghinis, screenshots of millions of dollars in payouts, and on and on. And I'm sure you've seen these claims before. And I thought, man, I'll never get to that level. But it did pique my interest. Then 4 years ago, after a year of getting nowhere on my own, I decided to get serious when I invested in a high-end internet coaching program with Greg Davis. I met Greg at one of Ed O'Keefe's meetings. Ed O'Keefe was the owner of Dentist Profits. You may have heard of him. But anyway, Greg was one of the keynote speakers. The biggest fear I had in making the investment was that I felt like I was at a low point in my financial life, even though I was making a good income from my practice. Every dime I was bringing in was being spent paying the bills. I was scared to death to write a check for Greg's $50,000 coaching program. But I had made a commitment to myself that there was no room for failure. I was going to make this work, no room to fail. Greg had helped so many others, why not me? But I was still afraid to invest that much money in a new business venture when I didn't have this disposable income to spend. I borrowed the money from what was left of my retirement plan. The fear of having to pay it back and of what if this doesn't work were the things I had to overcome. It was really hard to write that $50,000 check, but I had gotten only the highest recommendations from lots of Greg's prior students. And I did my due diligence and could not come up with any reason not to work with Greg. Only my fear of taking risk and of possible failure was holding me back. This was the first time I had ever invested in myself for something other than starting my dental practice years ago. I stuck with my commitment to allow a no-fail policy. Now, I've come to realize that risk-taking is a part of life and that continually staying within my comfort zone left me no room for growth. The best part of writing that big check was that it kept my hope in my future alive and I had complete confidence in my coach. And this story has a really happy ending. Several months after starting and learning from Greg, I had not only recouped my coaching investment, but I had made back many multiples of that investment. Together, Greg and I made $1.1 million in a period of 6 weeks. I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. We had a net of around $600,000. That's not too bad for 6 weeks. That was really eye-opening and life-changing. The good news for you is that I've done the work in the trenches for you. I found the best coach there is for you, and I've eliminated the risk of finding the wrong one. I've also taken the risk out of finding a profitable business to invest in. Greg's system works for me, and it will for you too. It's putting thousands of dollars in my bank account every month. Well, I've come to realize the 3 things we need to invest in. The first, as we mentioned earlier, is that we need to invest in ourselves. The second thing is that we need to invest in something that is going to move us forward. And the third is that our investments need to be things that are going to make us money. So if you're asking yourself today what you have to do, the question you need to ask yourself is, how much money do I want to make? If you want to do a lawn service, you can do a lawn service and make $2 a lawn. But if you really want to go all in like I did and find a way to make the big money and do the things you need to do to succeed, that's where you've got to do what Greg taught me, and that is you've got to think the big picture. You can't cut lawns for $2 each and make enough money to have the option of exiting your practice if that's what your goal is. But you've got to be able to find a business that makes sense to you. We're going to provide just that. We want to help you out, just like Greg helped me out when I first started, but you'll have the huge benefit of not having to work as hard as I did. We have developed a system for you to tap into, which requires, again, almost no work on your part. Our team will do all the heavy lifting for you. You'll be working closely with me and Greg to set up your own successful hands-free business, though. When I spent the $50,000 for Greg's coaching, he made me work, lots of work for months. I learned a huge amount, and it paid off in a big way. But within less than 8 months, I had made back my investment and an additional 600% on top. That's 6 times my initial investment. You can do the math, and yeah, that was a lot of money, and it came really fast. We're not promising that kind of return here, but then we're not going to require any work from you. I know how busy you are with your practice, your family, and other daily obligations. And as I said earlier, we'll do most all of the work for you. All you'll have to do is set up a few accounts, and the most important of which will be the one to deposit your earnings into. If you're still with me here, odds are you aren't 100% happy with where you are, and now the question is, where do we go from here? You have options. You can keep on doing what you're doing, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you do want to make a change, let's talk about that. So obviously, you've heard a ton of stuff, and at this point, I want to ask you 3 questions. These are 3 simple questions. One is, do you know how much money you currently have in the bank, and is it enough? The next question is, would you like to have more? And the last question is, would you like to do something about that? And if you would, you can join Greg and me. We'll help you develop an income that can either supplement or replace your practice's income. Now, there are 2 ways to get started. You can start like I did, making $2 a lawn. That would be just like trying to build an internet business yourself, a do-it-yourself model. Then there's the option to get a fast start, and that's the option to work with Greg and me to build a sustainable long-term business for you. We're not asking you to invest quite as much as I paid Greg 4 years ago for coaching to join us. However, $50,000 would actually be a bargain for what you'll be getting. Now, this is not for everyone. Greg is not cheap, but it's all about return on investment. Like I said earlier, I got a 600% return. More important than that, I learned skills that are helping me live the life of my dreams. Also, you can have the opportunity to work for us on other joint ventures as time goes on. This could be worth more than the value of your dental practice. This is what your business will involve. We will set up a way for you to automatically build a large list of email subscribers. Then your setup will automatically send out messages to your list of subscribers. This is done by a special piece of software called an autoresponder. These messages are custom designed to sell products that these subscribers want. And finally, the sales go directly to your bank account. Again, you don't do anything except buy email subscribers and collect commissions. This exact system is now working beautifully for me. And for those of you with time on your hands and a desire to begin learning about the details of internet marketing, we're going to give you training. We will teach you how to set up an autoresponder, how to write compelling emails, how to find offers that your email subscribers want, and how to find and train outsourcers to run your business for you. But again, if you choose, you don't have to learn any of this. This is a turnkey business where we do everything for you, and it requires very little of your time. Believe me, I would not recommend something to my colleagues that I have not had success with myself. And as I said earlier, we're not asking you to invest $50,000 like I invested with Greg several years ago. I made the investment in myself for this exact program, and I want to share my success with you. You're probably wondering, why are we offering this? Well, Greg has always loved teaching others, and we decided that other dentists like me would benefit from forming a web-based business that could either supplement or replace their practice's income. We're not being 100% altruistic. We do make money from your participation in our system, but you also win. The money you will make should far outweigh your investment. Your initial investment goes towards hiring and training your own dedicated team of workers to build your business for you. Your ongoing costs will be for buying qualified email subscribers from our list brokers so you can build your list. Of course, each subscriber should be worth substantially more than your cost. So if you don't profit, we don't profit. We'll be motivated to get your system profitable as soon as possible, and you can scale this up as fast as you want by buying more subscribers and by reinvesting profits back into buying more. This exact system is working for us, and there's no reason why it can't work for you as well. As much as we would love to work with every dentist that is serious about supplementing or replacing their income, we can't work with everyone. Our program is by application only, and we will only work with people that we feel this is a good fit for. Greg and his team will conduct one-on-one strategy sessions with the qualified dentists. However, they're extremely busy, so you need to take the steps below before your one-on-one call from Greg or his teammate or team member. First, go to www.exitstrategyfordentists.com/apply and complete the online application. Then you can read my book, and it's a short book, An Exit Strategy for Dentists, The Solution. It's short but really informative. The book is on its way to you, but you can also read an online copy at www.exitstrategyfordentists.com/online. Once you complete these two steps, you'll have a private one-on-one call with someone from Greg's team to discuss if you're a good fit for an exit strategy for dentists. Thanks for staying with us for this presentation. If you feel this might be right for you, go now to www.exitstrategyfordentists.com/apply and fill out the online application. Thanks.